Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here today for the Scrap Room, and I am creating with the fall collection from Echo Park found in the Flavors of the Month kit, and I created that 4-photo layout there. So when you subscribe to Flavors of the Month, you are always going to get a collection of embellishments. I'm showing you my collection there. 3 pattern papers, those are the 3, 2 pieces of cardstock, and then if you get the add-ons, those are the add-ons, and then that white piece of cardstock is my own. So I have multiple photos you can see here that I want to, I'm not sure what size I want, so I printed them in multiple sizes. I used the blue cardstock and cut out that Hello Fall with my digital die cut machine. And my idea is that I want to do lots of strips of various colors and then include the photos in a larger piece there. So I am playing with the patterns that I want to use and then what I want to use as the B-sides. I actually go primarily with the B-sides because the patterns are really busy, and I find that detracts from the emphasis on the storytelling and the photos. So I don't really know what size I'm cutting here. It's really just kind of random. I believe this is 2 inches of the wood grain that is going up the top, and then at a random guess, this is 3/4 of an inch of the diagonal. I'm going to go with plaid that is going to be next, and I put that down very crooked and I see that, so I'm going to fix that. And then I know that the Hello Fall is a very big title. It's still a little crooked, but I'm not going to worry about it. And so I want that on the floral that is what's going to pull all of the colors in the layout together. And again, I know how tall the letters are, and I'm going to cut it a little bit taller than the letters and just kind of wing it from there. Yes, I will fully admit that I am type A, but I am not overly, I want to say particular when it comes to my scrapbooking. I mean, I guess I am particular about certain things, but not all things. So you can see I have all of the photos in both 4x3 as well as slightly smaller, whatever 4x3 shrinks down. I never know the sizes of things because I'm really not all that particular about it. I know some of you might find that really funny. So my decision making here was, am I going to use the smaller photos or am I going to use these 3x4s and have them straight all the way across the page, or am I going to overlap them a little bit? And I decide I'm going to separate them and overlap them because to me with the overlap, it gives you the illusion of the falling leaves. It's kind of playing off of the theme of the layout there. I am going to just use some really thin craft foam to raise 1 or 2 of the photos. I think I end up going with just 1 of them, and you really can't tell that it's raised, but it's just enough to give you a little bit of dimension on the page. I'm going to add dimension in other ways. So you can see I haven't determined how big that blue background for these photos is going to be because I'm going to go ahead and put the photos down first and then go from there. It really is more just to frame out the photos, and that's why that tone on tone is just perfect for that. And you can see it really pops the colors in those fall photos there. So I want a little bit of a border down the bottom. My original plan was just make it easy and just go straight across, but I really wanted a scallop, a big scallop, and so again I pull out my digital die cut machine and my Silhouette and just get a big fat scallop border there. And I love the way that it pulls the white from the Hello Fall background paper into the bottom of the layout, and then the orange that is also at the top. So just a fun fall layout. So that is the foundation of the page done. It's just time to embellish it now. I am mixing both a sort of a limey greeny baker's twine with a jute twine, so I'm just going to overlap those together and tie a bow. I am going to use some artist tape at the back to hold that down so that it doesn't slide, and then I will also, you'll see, use my Ultra Bond to also just put a little bit of adhesive behind the strings in the front there. They weren't kidding when they named it Ultra Bond. It is a great hold, especially for things like twine that can slide down the page, especially if you're storing them vertically in a page protector. So just going to tie I always tie my bows upside down, because then when you tie them upside down, the strings hang right way down, the way I tie my bows anyway. That works out perfectly for me. One of the things you have to be careful with the baker's twine is that if you tie it too tight and then you pull it to adjust the bow, is you can get some sort of uncurling of the baker's twine. So that's also what's great about putting a little bit of liquid adhesive behind it, is that it helps the untwisting of that baker's twine. You can see I'm struggling a little bit to get that pin back in that metal tip there. So just a little fun dimension and texture to that, and again adding a slightly different splash of color and a little bit of organic material to a rather organic layout. So these pictures are of fall, obviously. For my son's birthday, we went out to Western Virginia, not West Virginia, but Western, the state of Virginia, to celebrate his birthday, and fall was getting well underway, and we rented a little cottage. So you can see the sunrise and the fall colors on that left picture, the cottage itself with the sign pointing to it in the second picture. The third picture is my shoes with the wet deck and wet leaves, and then the fourth picture is just a shadow reflection of some of the leaves on the birch tree outside the front door there. So no people really in the pictures. My daughter is actually in that first picture. It's hard to see that she's there though, but more just talking about the change in the seasons. So you do not see any visible journaling on this layout. But that is because I have hidden journaling, and I often make the disclaimer as to why I've got the hidden journaling. Again, it is more for the design element, and I have been telling longer stories lately, and I feel like the pictures tell the story, but because there's no people and this is not an event, you don't really see that, and so that's why it's hidden. Because there's not enough room on the page. So I am playing with chipboard pieces. The chipboard is from the add-ons, the embellishment add-ons. So if you subscribe to the ScrapRoom kits, you will get, as I mentioned earlier, 3 pieces of pattern paper, and then for this particular kit you get a few of the ephemera, and then as well as a piece of the some stickers, a page of the stickers. The chipboards are the add-on. And so I'm trying to create a visual triangle through this, so that you go from the top right over to the left-hand side of the title where those flowers in the vase are, down to where it says Autumn Memories. And you'll see at the end of the layout that there also ends up being, from those sort of clusters, sunflowers in each of those clusters, and that is the main element. So you can see currently I have the third sunflower at the end of fall, and I end up moving that down to Autumn Memories so that you have that more visual triangle and that movement of your eye across and around the page there. So I am raising a couple of the elements off of the page with foam, again just to add a little more dimension. The way that the tags and all the words sat, it was kind of funny if I didn't have foam underneath, but I had to have the happy fall y'all, because I live in Virginia and I've never heard y'all more than I've heard in Virginia. In fact, I've started using y'all. So I had to have that, and then make today count. I just like it because it's a positive statement. So you can see where I've put that third sunflower and shifted it. While the Echo Park used to have the chipboard accents as stickers, they no longer are, so you have to come up with your own adhesive. I like this Ultra Bond adhesive because it is so strong, and definitely holds chipboard super nicely. I am struggling with embellishments at this point. I've pulled out a bunch and put out a bunch, and largely because I feel the need to use them because there are so many of them. But in the same token, the reason they all go away is because they don't serve any purpose as far as the design element and pulling the page together. If I were to have used more than I did, it literally would have been because I had them and because I could use them, but not because the design necessarily needed that. And that's what I love about the ScrapRoom kits, is that there are minimal embellishments typically. Not minimal, but there are not an abundance of them. And so you don't get overwhelmed with choices. I like that. And I like that the choices that you do have, all combinations work out perfectly. So this is where I decide, oh, I've not left any room for any journaling, so now I need to put in a pocket for a tag. I went with the brown paper tag instead of the orange one that I originally had because that was more organic and went with the page. Enjoy the close-ups. If you have any questions about subscriptions to the ScrapRoom kit or not subscribing and what the ScrapRoom kits are, please don't hesitate to leave them in the box down below. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you're doing well. Take care.